Hello, students. Welcome to midterm week in English 355. I can't believe that the time has flown by so quickly. I've loved watching your book presentations and I loved reading your Whisper Shouts papers. So this coming week, you'll be taking your midterm exam. It is an essay format talking about surprise children's books. One of the questions that you'll be asked, spoiler alert, is what kind of activities you can do with children utilizing the book that you're talking about in your essay. And with this question, it is weighted the same as the previous question. There are only 2 questions on the exam, by the way. And what I've noticed is students have a tendency when they see that second question that says, what kind of activities can you do? They say, we can read about this book and talk about it. And while that might work once or twice, it really is better to get the students involved, students that you're teaching, children specifically, involved in the books that they are reading in school. So I actually put together a little presentation of the activities that I thought of as I was reading this book recently. And by no means is this a perfect list, or is it everything that we could talk about with this book? No, it is just some things that I came up with, and I really want you to think about some different activities that you can use utilizing these books other than read it and talk about it, because I think that can get boring after a while. So anyway, let's switch over to my presentation. I recently read Wonder, and I think you know that I loved it. Totally, absolutely loved it. Where do I? Okay. So I'm doing my presentation on some activities that you could do using Wonder. Now, obviously, this book is a little bit older. It takes place, the protagonist is in 5th grade. So I think 5th grade would be a perfect time to read this book. And it helps that my son is in 5th grade right now. So I feel like these are some activities that he could do. Now, a lot of times, maybe people don't know what activity means. And I'm not sure I do either. It just means something out of the ordinary, I think. Besides sitting in your chair, raising your hand, and answering a question that your teacher has. So some things that I recommend: have them get out of their chair, have them work in small groups, do something physical, stretch their thinking, have them memorize something, do art projects, make posters for the wall, have them answer hard questions that they really have to think about. Make it fun, make it something they learn about themselves, even leaving the classroom and interacting with their fellow students around those. Though obviously, like I said, this is not a perfect list and it's not an all-inclusive list, but these are just some things that I thought about. So here, first thing is art. Now this is, of course, the cover to Wonder. And so some things that I thought about you could do. I made some little posters. So the first one is you could actually draw yourself as the Wonder cover. So here's me with my big hair, my big curly hair. So, and then after I did this, I thought, I could have actually cut out the face and put it onto blue paper and then drawn the features on and stuff. But so there's something you could do, just because that cover is so basic. It is something that you could use to cover a lot of different people. Then I thought that with the same type of thing, here is my self-portrait again, but I actually filled it with my own, what I would consider my own character traits, and maybe things that I love, and just other stuff like that. So I wrote, of course, my name up there where Wonder is on the cover, and then I just filled it with things that are important to me, or that I feel like I have made the choice to become. So, and then I thought about it after this. You could actually, if you were studying characterizations in your classroom, you could do this exact same thing, but with the actual characters in the book. So you could put Augie up here, and then you could have the students either in small groups or by themselves fill out all of his character traits, or what they would consider his character traits. So that could be a twofold. So it could either be self-discovery or talking about characterization in literature. Okay, so there's our art, and there's a ton more things you can do, make posters, and I get into a little bit more than that too. But just think about what kind of art you can do. So in the book, there is a teacher named Mr. Brown, and each month he introduces these precepts, and they are fantastic. And the first one that the kids are introduced to is, when given the choice between being right or being kind, choose kind. And so the whole theme of the book is being kind. But all of these precepts are designed to make you stretch your thinking. So I came up with a lot of activities that you could do utilizing these particular precepts. And so they are fantastic if you read through them. They are just, quotes from quotes for life, basically. So these are some activities I came up with, and this is all going to be stretching your thinking. So memorizing the precepts, picking a handful that have them individually choose which ones are their favorites, and then have them memorize them, including who said them. Another thought, out of paper, you could have them design their favorite precepts and put them on a cube, so you could roll it and read it like that. Make postcards with their favorite precepts and either put them on the wall or even mail them or just have them take them home. Write a paragraph about your favorite precept, what you think it means and why it's your favorite. And then have a small group discussion about it. I think there's no problem with discussing what you learn about, but I think it's more effective when it's even a small group. In the book, Aggie tells us how he's different from everyone. I mean, he's the same as everyone. He rides his bike, he does all these things, but he's also different. And the book is trying to show you that those differences, even though sometimes they're hard to deal with, are what make us special. So, you can have the children make a list of how they are the same as everyone else, but also how they are different. In the book, it talks about what his favorite superpower is, and so you can have the kids figure that out. You can have them design postcards about precepts that they write. So that is making them try and think of something profound. You can have a small group discussion of how they would feel if they were in the bloody scream incident in the book, and that's when they're all wearing masks because it's Halloween, and Aggie's best friend, or who he thinks is his best friend, starts bad-mouthing him behind his back because he doesn't know he's there because he's wearing a mask. So how the kids could feel about that and maybe process that situation and maybe have some empathy. Also, they could create postcard precepts, including the art to swap with friends. They could illustrate a scene from the novel in graphic novel style. And then they can make posters about how they and their classmates are wonders. And I was thinking maybe they could do it where they have a section that they write about what they like about themselves and what makes them special, and then they could have this their fellow students also create a section on that. Maybe illustrated with our same like this, or illustrated some other way. The world is your oyster. And then some student interaction stuff. Sorry, my thing comes out. The theme of the book, like I said, is kindness. So you could have a small group discussion where they define kindness, and then they each make a poster. Each group makes a poster with what their definition of kindness is, and then you could put them all up on the wall. And then below that, you could have a kindness wall where they either they list acts of kindness that they do receive or witness. That way, you could have this beautiful wall about all the kind things that are going on. Make a goal to be kinder, and the publisher of this book actually has a lot of resources on that. And like how to become a certified kind classroom and all these different things, which is awesome. And then you could also, kind of going back to that poster, you could just on a sheet of paper have it be where you don't know who writes it, but just have them write, each person write a classmate, what makes them special or why they are a wonder. So anyway, so those are just some activities I came up with for the book Wonder, and I really want you to think about this and stretch your thinking and say, what could you do with children that could make an impact that would help them with the books they're reading? Because they really can impact, have more impact than we think. And children's literature is such a great way to stretch their thinking and do that. Like using books that kids love, especially, make it so they can connect in a way that they might not be able to. Even with my own children at home, not in the classroom, I'm a mom, so sometimes I have to nag them, and I hate that. I hate to nag. So something I'm implementing in my own home is we're now going to do Harry Potter house points. So every time they do something good, they just get points, and I'm not even going to make a negative. The points never go away. So that way I can, instead of nagging them to do something, I'm using Harry Potter as a jumping off point to help them take control of what they are supposed to be doing, like practicing piano and doing homework. They all get points for that. So anyway, so I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with when it comes to activities that we can do with children, and I will see you soon.